Hey guys, I'm here for a long overdue transmission. I want to talk about the concept of faith over fear. And sorry for the reflection on my glasses. How would I do this? So, faith over fear. There are so many things to say about it, but I'm going to talk about an anecdotal story that I have. And then I'll talk a little bit of the light versus shadow or demons versus angels kind of balance that we all have a choice to make every single day. So now it's been a couple months, but as soon as it happened, I was like, this is a transmission. I left the whole gas refill thing for the morning, of course, which is what we do when we think, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just leave a few minutes early and grab some gas before work. But then you forget and you get into your car. I always procrastinate in the morning to leave. And so I pushed it to the last minute, gave myself just enough time to get to work. And I turn on my car to go. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm out of gas. I need to figure out where to get gas. And where I live, you can't just like swing by a 5-minute away kind of deal. I'm still not quite familiar with all the places to go near my home, but I was like, all right, I'll just plug it into the GPS and find a place that's kind of on the way from work to work, and hopefully I'll make it. So I put it into my little Waze. I find a place that's like right off the route. It's like, all right, I can do that. And according to my GPS, and according to my car, the whole mileage thing was okay because it, counts down the miles that you have left before you run out of gas. So it said I had 10 miles of gas left. This place was like 10 miles away. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. So I'm driving. The gas meter all of a sudden is like, oh wait, actually you have 5 miles. Just like dropped down. It was not 5 miles that I drove. I was like, oh crap, that's not good. But it'll be fine because it'll probably say 0 for a while, and it's just like trying to freak me out so I don't end up running out of gas. So I'm driving and I'm now down to 0. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm still 4 miles away, but it's okay. I'm talking to my car. I'm like, all right, car, you can do this. We're going to make it. And I'm in my head like, okay, if I run out of gas, what is my game plan? What am I going to do? I was like, no, I'm not. I can't run out of gas. I'm not going to run out of gas. I'm just going to make it to this gas station. So I'm like, all right, we got 4 miles to go, car. We got this. Come on, just keep moving. 4 miles. And then it went down to 3, and I'm like, okay, we can do this, 3 miles. And I'm stressing, but I'm like, it's okay. I have confidence. I have faith my car's going to make it. So I count down this whole time, and I finally see the gas station. I'm like, here we are. We're doing it. We made it. I pull up to a pump, and I notice that every single pump in this Cumberland Farms has a red bag over it, and they're all out of service. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What the F? What am I going to do? Okay, go back to my GPS, find the next gas station. It's like another 4 miles away. I was like, okay, it's all right. We're going to make it. I don't know how, but we're going to make it. Like, this is a joke at this point, but it's going to happen. So I had an option at that point to flip out, feel like a victim, feel screwed over, tell myself I'm not going to make it, yada, yada. But I was like finding some humor in it, and I go to this next gas station. Well, of course, this next gas station is just already lined up with all these cars because the Cumberland Farms was closed down. So I was like, well, I can't just sit here and idle. And I see one more gas station down the road. I was like, we're gonna make it. Somehow it's gonna happen. Like, what's going on, Spirit? Why is all of this happening? Why are you doing this to me? And I get there, and the little blurb from it is I did not say this story nicely, but as I was driving to that next one, and I started like literally laughing and talking to Spirit like, what the heck is this? My gas meter literally jumped up from 0 back up to 5 miles, and I was like, okay, so you're just playing with me, thanks. And it felt very validating that it was like, haha, like I'm just messing with you. You just have to have faith. Like it might feel like you're at the end of your rope. It might feel like there's no hope left and everything is dismal. But if you keep the right attitude about it, we're gonna hook you up. Like you gotta trust, and you're gonna be fine. And that is an amazing practice to have, like across the board, no matter what's going on. I was talking with a dear friend who's also part of this group about how responsible we are for our mindset about anything that's happening, whether we perceive it to be a crappy thing or a super fabulous magical thing. It's our responsibility to interpret it all as for our highest good, as something that is beautiful and sacred and actually positive. If we can stay in that faith space, we're going to find ourselves on the best timeline, in the highest vibrations, and so therefore get the best outcomes. It sometimes feels like we don't have a choice but to look at the dark side or the negative side, or, be rational about something. And that's not always going to serve us. If it's something that makes us feel like crap, that makes us feel dense or depressed or worried or stressed, we're not supposed to just be like, well, that's what it is, so that's what I'm going to wallow in. No, we can empower ourselves to say, okay, well, how can I reassure myself that everything's okay? How can I tap into the highest outcome here? Even if that means saying, okay, well, Spirit, show me how this can be a good thing. Like, let's have a conversation about this. Or how about you interact with me and show me that everything is okay? And that can kind of alchemize and switch your outcome really quickly. And I'll just use another anecdote here, a generalized one, because I'm not, I'm going to protect protected health information and all of that. But I'm a naturopathic physician, and I also do work with a lot of more serious cases like oncology, cancer cases, and just also the general population. And when I see signs or symptoms, or even sometimes lab results that point to a very scary diagnosis or a very no good prognosis, which is like, prognosis is like, well, what's the future outcome? What is this going to end up being? What is that going to look like? If something comes up where it's like most likely, based on what this clinical picture is showing me, something serious like cancer or something serious like surgery is needed, I do not jump to that and say, oh, well, this is probably cancer, and so we're gonna have to get you mentally prepared for that, and da 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 da. That's not how I put it, and that's not how I let it sit in my mind. I say, okay, well, here are the differential diagnoses. Yes, it can be this, but it can also be endometriosis, another inflammatory issue. It can also be a fluke reading. Let's get another reading. Let's look into these other things. Let's refer you to this other specialist so they can do their testing too. But let's keep an open mind, and let's not just all of a sudden or automatically assume that it is the scariest thing, that it is the worst situation, and keep that void space open to show us what else it can be besides that worst conclusion. And so much of the time, not all the time, but so much of the time, a high percentage of, like 80% of the time, I am pleasantly surprised by what actually ends up coming out in their diagnosis or in their prognosis. And I do feel that we're working a little magic there. We're infusing the situation with faith and peace and optimism, and the universe feeds back into that. The universe gifts us when we have those kinds of inputs into the universe. We receive back positive results a lot of the time. And then we can, rejoice in that. We can have gratitude for that. We can get excited and have fun with that. And that is the overall message here, is always, always, always faith over fear. And if it feels like you don't even have a choice and like, okay, well, Kat, listen, in this situation though, you can only look at it in the most like horrifying, shitty, whatever way. No, try again. Use just try, just practice. Just be like, all right, well, maybe I feel really convinced about that, but what if I can picture it a different way? What if I can kind of glean a more positive or enlightening or exciting outcome from this? What might that look like? And if you can't even think of it, if you can't even conceptualize something better than what you're stuck in, just release yourself from that hold and just be like, all right, well, you know what? I feel really crappy about this. I feel really hopeless about this, but I'm going to have some faith that maybe it's not just that. And maybe my perspective is just a little stuck or obstructed right now. And there can be something so much better. And give the universe an opportunity to teach you or to gift you or to show you how exactly that can be, and how maybe your mindset was not as accurate as you felt like it was. And again, like one of the big parts of the conversation I had with my friend was, yeah, lately it's been feeling kind of negative, and it feels like we don't have a choice but to see it in this one yucky way. But you always have a choice, and you have to remember that. Like, we're in a free will universe, and we can always will a more positive, beautiful situation to kind of bloom from wherever we are, from whatever muck. Like, we can be that lily coming up through all the mud and crap to bloom into something beautiful and amazing and gorgeous. So that's my invite to you, is to practice that. Like, what are you feeling pessimistic about, or what are you feeling low vibe about in your own life or just in your view of the world? And see if you can alchemize that just with that faith over fear practice. Okay, lots of love. Hope I made sense. Ciao for now.